Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Sarge Approved. I am your host, Sarge, with my co-host, Frenzy. How's it going,
What
Frenzy?
up?
And we are here with our guest this evening, John Kim, comedian. Thanks for being with us, John.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Let's take a moment here after introductions to hear a word from our sponsor. Hello, listeners. This is Sarge here to tell you all about National Survival Center, our sponsor and the guys who pay the bills. National Survival Center is the go-to guys for all the survival gear and outdoor gear, camping gear that you're looking for. They've got everything from tents and knives and binoculars, survival kits, fire starters, water filters, swords, gun cleaning kits, pretty much everything under the sun when it has to do with outdoor gear and survival gear. Make sure that you are prepared when the shit hits the fan and the zombies show up, because you don't want to be caught without the correct gear. So check them out at nationalsurvivalcenter.com, or if you're feeling lazy and you don't feel like typing that much, you can go to survivedon'tsuffer.com. They've got free shipping on pretty much all their gear, and they're a badass group of guys over there. All their gear is hand-tested, and they know that it's top of the line and it's going to serve your purpose. So check them out, National Survival Center. Survive, don't suffer. Back to the show. So, John, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Where are you coming to us from tonight?
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Dirty Jersey.
Dirty Jersey.
Dirty Jersey.
Joyzy. Does anybody actually pronounce it Joyzy out there?
The more south you go, you'll find a few. Yeah, they're out there.
Those are your favorite type of people, I bet.
Yeah, like when Jersey Shore came out, that was basically just like my high school.
Really?
So, like when I watched the show, I was like, I don't get, like, this is like how life is. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. Like, not everybody obviously in my school, but like they do fit the very, stereotypical Guido type.
Mm-hmm. So that shit was not entertaining for you. That was just like, I see this every day.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't get what, like, everyone, it like blew people's minds that these people were acting the way they were. I'm like, douchebags. I thought they were everywhere. Like,
I love the fact that you just started talking about it freely, because I was literally like a second away from asking you about the Jersey Shore. But I feel like now that makes me like a total stereotypical, like, watching trashy TV chick. But
no,
whatever,
I mean, like,
I did.
It's definitely, it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but
for those who don't prefer that particular taste of tea, it's gotta kind of suck, especially being from New Jersey and having your state being kind of synonymous with that show.
Right. No, here's the thing, though. Like, obviously, we do have some, like, it's not like 100%
everywhere.
New Jersey is like that. Yeah.
No, I know.
So you get the few that are obviously like that, but like for the most part, Jersey, Jersey's great.
Yeah. The other thing I think about, I guess, is the movie Garden State.
I've actually never seen it.
Me neither.
What?
Isn't that a Zach Braff movie?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
New Jersey's the Garden State, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot
Do you know
of
what? Do you know what Minnesota's little tagline is?
We have a few.
It's fucking cold.
Right
now it is. Today's like 2 degrees. No, the land of 10,000 lakes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I should know that. I thought that was Michigan.
No, it's Minnesota. There's actually only 4 lakes, but
there's like over 11,000 lakes, actually, like closer to 12,000. But that doesn't sound as cool. The land of 12,000.
12,000, yeah. That's just like lost in translation by now.
Yeah, don't do that.
Are there a lot of gardens in New Jersey?
Gardens, specifically gardens.
Yeah.
I guess we have just as many gardens as probably everywhere else.
The
I don't
moniker
know.
had to have come from somewhere.
I mean, there's got to be I don't know. I think the really nice ones are in New York, actually, like the botanical gardens.
Yeah.
But
Right, but are they talking about flower gardens or like are they talking about vegetable like food gardens?
you know what? I really should know this information, but I honestly don't, and it's like super embarrassing because I've been here since I was 5 years old, and I don't know shit about our state. It's just we got the Parkway, we got the Turnpike, and that is like the spine of New Jersey.
New Jersey Turnpike. It's not that bad of a state. It gets a bad rap. I was actually stationed in New Jersey, Fort Dix, when I was in the Army, and the base itself was a piece of shit. It just seemed gloomy and overcast all the time. But
where was it?
Fort Dix.
Fort Dix? Is that southern Jersey?
God, I don't even recall what the outlying towns were around Fort Dix because
you just didn't care that much.
No, I didn't. I left base. I recall maybe once, to go out and actually do something on a weekend. But otherwise, we were on base. We were training to go over to Iraq. So there wasn't a whole lot of going out and hitting the bars and hitting the towns.
It's 16.1 miles southeast of Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's pretty far down south.
You don't even know where Fort Dix is? You really are a horrible resident of New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know northern Jersey. Northern Jersey's where I'm from. Like, Jersey Shore, that's like the middle, like upper middle. And once you start getting like down south, it gets like really rural. Like it's like just straight up farms for a long time until you get to Pennsylvania, basically.
So is there do you recall such a thing called the Garden State Parkway?
Yeah, I mean that's the highway I take pretty much every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you refer to it more as like the Parkway?
Right. Yes.
It's
Parkway.
That's our
the
slang.
garden. If you said let's take the Garden State Parkway, people would be like, "What?
You're not from around
You're
here,
not
are you?"
Let's go take
the Garden State Parkway.
Let's go take the G
Yeah.
Parkway. We've talked about New Jersey for way too long. John Kim, you are a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
How long have you been making people laugh for a living?
It's only been 3 years.
Okay.
3 years. But it's been a solid 3 years.
Nice.
Where did you start out? Where did this whole journey begin for you?
So yeah, where did it begin? I went to I've never seen live comedy, right? Until I was 25 or 24, 25. And I've only seen it on TV, and when you watch it on TV, it looks really effortless, like these people never fuck up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think, like, it seems out of reach, like, oh yeah, these people are just fucking geniuses, like, I'm not that funny. So I went to a comedy club, and you realize, oh, these people fuck up all the time, like.
Oh yeah, well, plus the people who are actually on TV have been doing it for 20-some years, and
right.
they finally got their spot on TV, so they don't fuck up a whole lot anymore. You know?
Right. And when you grow up as in an Asian household, you don't think about things like theater or that's not even like a consideration. You know what I mean?
Because
it's just like study, become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever.
Is that something that was looked down upon?
It's not like, well, my parents are pretty chill. They're probably more chill than most Asian parents. They did try to push me, like, obviously to I don't know. They've always mentioned, like, oh, go to medical school, and they realized, like, oh, this motherfucker's not getting into medical school. Like,
why is that always the go-to? Be a doctor.
Yeah. Go to medical school, and then they're like, all right, you're not fucking smart enough to do that, so you're going to take over the family business, which was selling insurance. And I was like, that sounds fucking awful.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that sounds hideous.
I took the exam, I passed, and I could have done it, but I was like, I can't take over the family business. Like, this is soul crushing. I would hate my life forever.
Miserable.
So I just made the decision to get a corporate job to support myself. And now I'm just doing comedy at night and trying to put it all together, I guess.
That's cool.
And how old are you, John?
28.
28, okay.
Young buck.
You're still a young buck.
Yeah, like I feel young, but like there are like people are starting so early nowadays. Like you'll go to an open mic, see some like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. It's just like that. I never even considered stand-up comedy in high school. Like,
yeah, but I mean, unless you have some kind of really original kind of niche to your comedy, it's hard to see a 17 or 18-year-old on stage that I'm going to actually laugh at. That actually has something to say. I mean, what do you have to say at 17 years old? You haven't experienced anything yet.
You would be surprised, actually. Listen,
really?
most 17-year-olds are terrible, right? Like 98% of them are terrible. But then you'll get that 2%. And the 2%, you know that they're going to be just fine. Like they're going to do well.
Yeah.
Like I know this kid Simon Keidel. He's in New York. I performed with him at Levity Live one time. He was, I think, like 14 or 15.
Jeez.
Like maximum 15.
That's young.
What?
Yeah.
And
he killed. Yeah, he killed.
Really?
Yeah, he killed in front of it was Levity Live is a huge place. It fits, I'm not sure exactly how much, maybe 400.
Wow.
But there were I would say there was like a good 150 there, and he did well.
That's a big crowd.
Yeah, it was a decent crowd. Especially it was a good crowd, and
so
especially for a 15-year-old.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
So you saw this kid perform, right?
Yeah, I saw him perform.
And now, be honest, was his material actually legit? And did you laugh because he had some tight material, or was a big part of it because he was 14 and it was a little bit of a novelty that he was even up there in the first place?
He was surprisingly very self-aware for a 15-year-old.
Really?
He's one of those guys that really understands how the crowd feels when looking at a 15-year-old. So he plays on that.
Well, and I feel like
that very well.
I feel like some people that are 50 years old don't know how to do that very well. They can't read people. It's about being able to read people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he's listen, I didn't laugh like he was Chris Rock, but he made me laugh, and he did well with it. It doesn't matter what I think; it matters whatever the crowd thinks, and the crowd loved it. So
yeah, plus it just takes chops as anybody's age doesn't matter. So if that's something you want to do, like you've done it obviously, and I'm sure the first time you were shitting your pants, or maybe you were totally cool with it. Who knows? But then you can maybe tell us. But I just feel like to make the decision to do it and go out there and do it, I think is pretty ballsy and admirable.
And he related it to being a 15-year-old kid, what do 15-year-old kids go through? He's like, oh, I love hugging. It's probably really old material for him, so it's been a few years, but so I don't think he minds me sharing it. But he was like, I love hugging tall chicks because their tits are in my face. He didn't say it exactly like that, but. Yeah. It was, along those lines, and that's his life right now, and he made it pretty funny.
That is
That's
funny.
awesome.
Now, that's okay to say his material, say one of his lines, as long as you give the guy credit. That's
I mean, well, it was a while ago. He's like probably I saw him maybe a few months ago at Comic Strip Live, and he definitely grew because he was 15. Obviously, you're going to grow a shit ton from there.
Yeah.
So I saw him. I guess he's I don't know, probably 17, 18 by now, but
still doing it.
He's already I mean, he's already getting regular clothes spots, so he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
That's cool. So that's unique, I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like the 2%. Like
yeah. So you're the first time you did stand up. Do you want to tell us about it? How'd it go? How'd you feel?
The first I can't even remember what town it was because it was that bad. It was I didn't know how to become a comedian. So I guess to extend from before, I went to Dangerfields because someone wanted to go see a comedy show, and so we went to Dangerfields, and there were a lot of comics that like they fucked up a lot, like they didn't do well, and I'm like, so these everyone's not perfect. I feel like I could do this. Like if people fuck up all the time, you just got to get better at it. So I literally Googled how to become a comedian. I was like, how do you do this?
Who was that? Was that we had? Was it Brandon Sager who did the same thing? You know Brandon Sager. You were on an episode of Andrew Steiner's podcast together, weren't you?
Me?
Yeah, you and Brandon Sager.
No, I've not. No, I don't believe so.
Oh, I thought you had been on. Wasn't it you and Brandon Sager? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think you're thinking of someone else, but
way to go.
Yeah. But we had a guy on, we had a comedian on, and I believe it was Brandon Sager, who had basically done the same thing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have looked it up. Like, I don't know. I've noticed recently, like with Google, like you can just ask it pretty much anything.
I know, it's so weird.
just any general question that you have. Like we kind of take it for granted, like when we need it, but like you can literally just Google whatever you want. So
can I top that off with I actually Googled why is New Jersey called the Garden State, and I have an answer.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Let's hear
Do you want me to tell you?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I've heard it before.
Okay. So it's because the state boasts more than 733,000 acres of farmland.
What?
They're among the top 10 states in production of cranberries, blueberries, apples, sweet corn, and more. And this is back in the day, obviously, but even now, there's 733,000 acres of farmland with over 10,000 farms. So you're like the land of 10,000 farms, or the land of 10,000 lakes.
we were just the farms that like
There
fed
you
New
go.
York, basically.
Yeah.
You think
But,
they have more farms than...
The Garden State means like food. So there you go.
Like the thing is, like that's definitely southern. Like you go to southern Jersey, I was saying before, it's just straight up all farms. So I do believe that. Obviously, well, you Googled it, but so
so weird.
The internet never lies about anything.
Internet can never lie about facts like that.
It's got to be true. Okay, so tell us about your first time popping your cherry.
So I can't even tell you what town it was in because it wasn't like a comedy open mic.
But it was in Jersey.
Yeah, it was really close to my where my parents lived when I was living there at the time. And so I show up because I just looked up, I had to Google how to become a comedian. Then I saw like open mics. You go to open mics, so I looked up open mics. I didn't look up specifically stand-up open mics. I just looked up open mics. And I got to this. I got to this bar. And it was like, the area that I'm from. Like, I'm not wealthy, but like the area that surrounds me is very wealthy.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, this one bar was just like super dingy, And I was just like, what the hell? Where did I teleport to? Like, what the fuck is this place?
Just a dive bar.
Yeah, it was just like this really sketchy dive bar. And I go in, and like the guy, I was like, "Oh, is the mic open mic today?" He's just like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." Like he like didn't know.
Oh, we still do that?
Yeah, like, yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, we can do an open mic if you're here to perform.
You're going to be the only one.
Yeah, it wasn't like even like a real open mic. So I get in front of this crowd full of people just drinking at the bar, not listening.
Yeah.
I get like 1 or 2 chuckles, and then that was basically it.
How long were you up there? About a few minutes?
Probably like 5 minutes.
What made you decide to do that? What made you decide, like, I'm funny, and I'm going to get on stage and prove that? And you had never done it before.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the performances at Dangerfield. I'm like, I feel like if I wrote some stuff, I feel like it would be better than that kind of stuff. But so like, I don't. Every comedian that tries comedy it has like some sort of stupid ego about himself, thinking that he can write better than someone else. Like that's just, I think that's just how most comedians think. Like, but you kind of have to have that mentality to even start it, like,
yeah,
or else you wouldn't get into it. You have to kind of believe in yourself a little bit.
Oh,
start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have what's the motivation then?
Right. Exactly. You just gotta at least try it.
It's not going to be an easy road, obviously. Yeah. So you gotta have something. How often do you like switch out and rotate your material? Do you kind of mix old stuff and new stuff usually, or do you do like a completely new set? Or
well, I'm only 3 years in, and people who are 3 years in. They'll say they have, like 20 minutes of material. They only got like 10, right? So I just, like, honestly, like, I try to, because I know that if I keep writing, my writing is only going to get better. Mm-hmm. So I don't dwell on keeping a lot of old material. So I cycle out as much as I can because I know it's only going to be better.
Okay. Cool.
So, like, if you want to count, like, all of the, like, crappy and shitty jokes that I have and the good jokes that, like, it would probably be, like, 20 minutes of material right now, but it's like, I try to just build 5 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5-minute blocks.
Okay.
So, do you recall any of your material from that very first time you got up on stage? Come on, there's got to be something.
Just being a really bad, edgy, just like being unnecessarily edgy, like talking about like religion and stuff. And
you just come in and just be overly political and over.
It was just, I knew I had to get all of the shit out of the way because like when I first started writing stuff. Like you think it's good, it obviously bombs at first, like in the beginning, and then like you just keep going until something clicks, and you just have to do that over and over and over and over again. So it's like, I don't know, it's just like a very, very grinding process, I guess.
How much writing are you doing? Is it a daily process for you? Or are you constantly trying to write down new material, or just as things pop in your head? Keep a little notebook in your pocket?
Yeah, I always just have I'm very simple. I just have one page. It has bullet points, and that's it, on my phone.
Perfect. And then you just evolve it from there.
Yeah, it's just one sheet with 3 sections, and the first section is my all of my material. That works. The second section is my tight 5-minute sets when I have to audition for something.
Okay.
And my third one is new material that I'm working on. So very concise.
So how's it going so far? Are you landing gigs? Are you doing a lot of open mics or?
Yeah, it's finally picking up. I got passed at Comic Strip Live. I'm involved now at the Village Lantern, which is like this I guess, up and coming. It's always been like a spot for when comedians come up. Like every single big name has gone to the Village Lantern at one point in their career. It's just right. It's right next to the Comedy Cellar. Like you just like if you're. It's a really, I guess it's a pretty well known spot for young talent.
Where's that at?
It's on Bleecker Street.
Bleecker Street, isn't that where Johnny Depp used to cut people's hair?
Probably.
What was that movie that Johnny Depp was in where he was the mad barber of Bleecker Street?
What? The Edward Scissorhands?
No. It's
No.
I think it was Bleecker Street. Anyways.
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember though.
Yeah, one of those weird ones he did.
Yeah.
So
I'm horrible with movies.
You've been putting in a lot of time there.
Yeah, so I spend most of my time comic strip, Village Lantern, and I have an open mic in New Jersey. I also, if I'm not doing any of the New York stuff, then I'm just staying in Jersey and doing open mics in New Jersey. So I just try to stay as busy as I can, pretty much.
Just getting those reps in, right?
Yeah, it's pretty, like, that's, every single comedian has said it. Stage time, right? It's like there's no magic. It's like when you want to lose weight, there's no magic. It's just exercise and dieting. Like,
yeah, there's no magic pill for that shit. That's just
what you have to do.
There's no magic pill for that shit.
No, it's just work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about... Whatever. I don't have to do anything.
Listen, I get lazy all the time. Like, I'm not saying that I'm hard, because I feel like I only compare myself to people who work harder than me, and that's a lot of people. Like, there are so many people in the city who just bust their ass like every single day, going to like 2 to 3 open mics, just going ridiculous. And like, I can't. If I do 2 open mics in one day, I get really tired. Like, that's really tiring for me.
Right.
Even if you're only doing,
like, I pretty much try to go up every night.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes I have to take a break and whatnot. Everyone has to take a break at some point. But there are definitely workhorses in New York. Like, some of those guys that are just, all they do is just like be in the clubs.
Yeah, it's got to be exhausting, though, because you also work a day job.
Yeah.
You have to support yourself somehow and still maintain, like, the relationships that you have in your life. And so it's, if you don't have to do any of that stuff, like, yeah, go ahead, go balls to the walls. But
yeah. So, I have to, comedy is weird like that, because in the beginning, a lot of people start a little bit later in life. Like, most people aren't starting at like 13, 14.
No.
Most people are starting probably in their 20s. So they have to have, most people have to have jobs, and it's hard to put in those hours when you're either really tired or you just don't have the time because work is demanding.
Right.
And so it's very slow in the beginning, because not only are you really bad at comedy, like, you don't have a lot of time to practice comedy either.
Yeah.
So it's a really slow crawl in the beginning.
Do you feel like it goes in waves where you kind of do a few and then it like pumps you up and like you feel really good, but then you're like, after doing some, you're like, ugh, I need a break? Or is it just kind of sporadic?
Well, it's really exhausting, because because I'm only 3 years in and I don't have a lot of material. And I'm, every single comedian should be building material, but it's very important for young comedians to build even more material, because we don't have the material. Like, we have to create it first. Mm-hmm. So constantly thinking of new things gets you really fucking tired. Like, there are comedians that have their hour and then they stick on that hour for a few years.
I hate that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb.
yeah, it's bad, but they can get away with it because, you could get away with a year material for if you don't do it on TV or anything and you do like just corporate events and stuff, you can get away with, doing it probably for like 5, 6, 7 years.
Which is bullshit, but that's just lazy. But
that's lazy.
I see if you have an hour worth of material that you've come up with in a particular year, then like ride that shit out for the year. But then next year, start working on some new material, or during that year, start working on the shit you're going to start saying next year.
Yeah, I mean, so that they had to build that hour in the first place, so they knew how to write. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're bad comedians. They just got lazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if they decided that they don't want to do any TV and they only want to do corporate events and cruise ships and stuff like that, like if that's their lifestyle, then go for it. Why not?
Yeah. Those are the people.
You don't have to judge them for just riding out a wave that it's just their life, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm not competing with those people.
There's people out there that are okay with forever being kind of middle management.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't care.
Fine.
Like,
that's fine. Not everyone can be the king.
You could make good money doing that.
Yeah,
you can make 6 figures doing that and make a decent living. Like, it's just the way they decide to do it. But I really, at least for now, because I don't even have an hour of material. Like, I'm thinking of it as I'm just enjoying the process, and it's still fun for me, and it's just fun playing around with it.
Yeah, you're finding your particular voice, your particular way of doing things. It's a feeling it out process, and it takes time and experience.
Right.
Definitely pretty rare for somebody who's been in for 3 years to have a Netflix special and a TV show and movie deals and things like that.
Right. Yeah. It's just you can't predict the future, but you just have to you gotta just believe in whatever you're doing and just
get good at marketing yourself.
No, I'm not good at it at all. Like the way I see it now, I know I shouldn't be thinking this way, but it's just the way I think. Like, I feel like I'm not good enough to promote myself yet. Like, I don't until I have an acceptable hour worth of material. Like, there's nothing that I can brag about. Like, there's nothing I feel like I should be selling yet. Like, right now, I am in, if you watch a cheesy kung fu movie, I'm in that, I'm just, by myself training, in the shadows for, a few years until I can come out, after 5 years and really show some decent stuff.
You're like a Padawan.
Yeah, just
Frenzy, your Star
just
Wars
tucked
references.
away and just doing as many spots as I can and just building it up, I guess.
What are you clicking on over there, Frenzy?
I'm not clicking on anything.
I can hear your mouse.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, I had to click on something really quick.
Oh, that's you
me.
Clicking.
I was just going to say it's on me.
So, yeah, it's a constant struggle. But marketing yourself is obviously an important thing.
Right.
No matter if you're in the beginning stages or, you've got a tight 1 hour of material.
I completely, I don't want to do social media that I don't, that's I don't feel like going out of my way to do social media. If I'm, I don't feel like the biggest need to take out my phone every single chance that I get, especially because all of us are addicted to our phones.
Oh, totally agree.
But I am more and more, the only platform that I really like to use is Instagram. And so I'll just be trying to use that more, and I just don't want to, people are on Snapchat and stuff like that, and I get it, it's fun for people and stuff like that, but if it's not fun for me, then I'm not going to mold myself to use an app that I don't like. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I still don't understand why Instagram or Twitter is so damn popular, but I understand that they are popular and everybody uses them, so it's an effective tool to reach out and connect with people.
Right. I mean, like when you got, unless I'm successful enough of a comedian to have a staff to run Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, blah, 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 and like have just someone follow me and take photos and like just type what I have to say, like until it gets to that point, I'll stick to like one or two apps and try to, focus on those because, I do like using Instagram. So, if, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think fans. I'm really bad at marketing, is what I'm trying to say.
I think fans would appreciate those that are actually using their own Instagram accounts or Twitter accounts or whatnot instead of some staffer that's putting out all this content. You get a little more of a personal touch.
Like I don't mind. I don't mind people who have a staff, but they're the ones telling them what to write.
True.
But when it's obviously not them, like when it's like the most lame, like there's no way this person fucking wrote this, It's just it's like an advertisement for a t-shirt or something. Like it's like I don't know.
Yeah, you can tell.
You know what? I do appreciate when people like sometimes if they do want to promote something but they don't want to come off as phony, they'll do like a hashtag from like the staff or something like that. Like they let the viewers know that the staff wrote this, not the actual person. So
yeah,
I
cool.
actually like that. That's just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I hate the whole idea of hashtags. They bother me. I don't know. It's still sticking around.
Like it gets more views. It does.
It's true. I know. It's all.
When I post fucking pictures of my dog on Instagram and hashtag corgis of Instagram, there will be random people liking my photo.
Really?
So.
I know, but here's where it gets annoying is when it's like, hashtag corgis of Instagram, hashtag my dog is the cutest, hashtag do you like my shirt, hashtag I had a caramel macchiato this morning with my breakfast. Like there's like 400 of them,
right.
It's like no one gives a fuck what you had for breakfast.
Yeah, 43 hashtags later, the fucking post is finally done. Hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag this is my hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag.
Pretty much. Pretty much it's gotten to that point.
Yeah, but so you're kind of, you don't really fit I guess, are you in your generation? Are you considered a millennial or not?
Recently,
are you the next one?
Recently, I've been told that I am a millennial. I'm 28.
Okay. So yeah, you're probably a millennial.
Yeah, I'm considered a millennial. I don't feel like a millennial. I feel like millennials don't feel like millennials.
You're kind of right on that edge there.
Yeah, that edge. It's so edgy. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I recently found that out. I found that out recently. Like, I didn't know 28 was a millennial because I thought it was people who were born in the 90s.
No.
But apparently it starts from, where, like 85 or something like that?
No. Yeah, I think like, 85, 86-ish.
If you were,
something like that.
Sounds about right.
Born in that time or if you grew up in that time?
If you were born.
Yeah.
So I'm a Gen Xer, actually. I'm old.
Well, I'm not a millennial then. I was born in 83.
So you're considered a Gen Xer too.
Fuck yeah. But see, I'm a hybrid, like Blade.
But you're kind of like a millennial.
I'm like Blade. I'm a daywalker. I can walk among the millennials, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, you kind of are.
I can infiltrate. Bit. Yeah.
If you're using hashtags, your inner self is a millennial.
I just gotta blend in. I just gotta blend into all these millennials. They're taking over. These are the dudes that are these are the ones that are gonna be ruling the world someday.
Oh, I mean, people who are 28 running the tech business, like, Yeah, there are a lot of people. It's like I watch a lot of MMA, and then whenever people are like, yeah, 28 is like starting to hit your prime, it's like, yeah, I guess, but that doesn't work for comedy. Hitting your prime in comedy is like 50.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite current, or I guess current is one answer, and then your like all time favorite MMA fighters right now?
MMA fighters?
Mm-hmm. Like your current, like the current one that's like whatever in the mix right now, and then like maybe like a longtime favorite.
This is gonna sound really corny, but like I can't.
You can't
like
pick.
it's really hard to just pick because everyone's style is so different. So I'm just a fan of like their character because it's just like I find it so interesting, like people with like different body builds and like the way they choose to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I find it all very interesting. So like,
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of MMA is you have boxing and you can like a particular fighter, but when it comes down to it, they're both boxing.
right?
They may have slightly different styles and whatnot, but in MMA, you may have a guy that his background experience is wrestling, and he's a ground and pounder,
Right.
you got a guy whose main background is jiu-jitsu or something like that. So you have all these different things that guys are bringing to the table, and it's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you guys sound like you watch some.
I've seen some. So I guess when I've seen was when the Spider was still in the mix, Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
And then I saw him break his leg and do that whole situation when he was being a huge cock and whatever. I guess the first one I ever saw that I was like, this shit's cool was Big Country. He is definitely not your typical MMA fighter. Who's the other one? The Dragon. I liked watching him too.
Yeah.
What's his real name?
Can't
remember.
Machida?
Yeah, Machida. Yep. And then I guess I haven't really watched it a whole lot. Like I think I saw a couple of the chick ones, like Misha Tate and Rhonda.
Right.
And then I haven't really watched a whole lot since then. But
well, you know the recent one, right?
Yeah, Ronda Rousey got her ass beat.
Yeah,
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
All I saw was some highlights, and it looked like it was her first time in the cage. She looked scared.
Just rattled.
Yeah, right. It was weird. It was really weird. Like she just looked shook. Like she got rocked that first couple times, and she just looked like she didn't know where the fuck she was. Like what was going on. And
well, when was her last fight? Like big time fight before this one? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been over a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that has something to do with it? Maybe.
Has it really been a year?
Yeah. Ring rust obviously is a real thing when you're not active.
Yeah.
Definitely affects you, but also
too busy making Fast and the Furious movies.
When you think you're invincible and then you get kicked in the head, that's gonna fuck with you. Like that's when you think you're invincible and you get knocked out like that. All the media, pretty much everyone is like, yeah, she's pretty much mentally broken. Like it's a mental thing. Everyone's blaming her coach right now.
Yeah.
Like literally all the active fighters, even the champion who fought her was like, why is she with this coach? And,
really?
It's very, because he's pretty much, he doesn't have any good fighters. Every fighter that goes to him from a credible camp gets significantly worse.
Weird.
Yeah, he's considered a boxing coach, but Ronda's boxing is the worst boxing. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's just it's not pretty to watch. It's.
What about?
I was saying I watched the fight this is all going to sound like in hindsight, but, I guess you guys will have to take my word for this. But I was watching her fight Bethe Correia in Brazil, and that's when she knocked her out. And, everyone's like, this is the time where she's in, the height of her popularity. And people were asking, because a lot of people know that I'm a big MMA fan, a lot of comedians were asking me, like, oh, what do you think about that Ronda fight? I'm like, yeah, obviously she knocked her out, but I didn't really like her standing beforehand because, like, she got hit a few times, and the girl she was fighting was, like, terrible. Like, I don't find her talented at all. Like
a worthy opponent?
No, like, I mean, she's a tough girl. Like, she was 9-0. Let's give her credit. Like, she was 9-0.
But just the matchup itself wasn't probably the best.
Yeah, just like Ronda. You can tell Ronda is a different athlete. She's very coordinated, very, like, her skills just speak for herself. Like, very good grappling. And you could just tell with the other girl, just in, like, the training videos, she was not up to par on anything. Like, stand-up, ground game, it seemed very amateurish. But even with the lack of technique, she was a very tough girl. She was undefeated before she fought Ronda. But, like, I was expecting a Ronda to just, like, she did smoke her, but she got hit a few times, and I was like, her stand-up still needs improving, like, drastically. But I didn't predict that Holly Holm would knock her out like that. That was ridiculous at the time.
Yeah. Huh.
Have you checked out that Savannah M, the Savage Buddha?
Savannah M.
Yeah, have you heard of her?
No, I haven't. Who is that?
No, she's an up and comer. She just had her first pro fight back in December.
Oh, okay.
And
is that Daniele's?
Yeah, one of
first pro fight ever, or first UFC fight.
First UFC fight. One of our former guests, Daniele Bolelli. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard of him.
It's his girlfriend, and she's a savage, man. I was just looking at this fight here, and she KO'd her opponent in the first fight, her first pro fight back in December 11th. And she looks like a beast. You might want to keep your eye on her. Savannah M. They call her the Savage Buddha.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like,
that's a sweet name.
I know.
She's like, because of I do watch a lot of MMA when I can, but a lot of times I have to skip out because of comedy and stuff like that. And so I can't, like, I would love to watch almost every single fight if I could, but there are just some times where it's like I just don't have the time, Like, I gotta live my life. Like, I can't go back and, like, watch these. Some people are like, oh yeah, I love watching, like, replays of UFC, blah blah blah. It's like, how do you have the time for that? Like,
yeah, you got to try to almost multitask it. Just have it playing in the background while you're getting some other shit done.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you could do that.
But
yeah.
Have you got any videos out there? Anything showing your stand-up?
Yeah, that's the problem. So I only got, like, one video up right now because I'm super, like, like I said before, I'm only 3 years in, and so, like, putting my stuff online right now, like, I know, like, I think I'm pretty self-aware. Like, I don't think I'm that great right now because, like, I do well in live shows, but, like, it's hard to record every single session. Like, you're at this stage, I'm not sure when it's going to be a good crowd or not, so I'm not recording every single night.
But even if you can record your sets, even if it's just for your own personal use to critique yourself and improve your game.
True, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But, like, posting it online,
gotcha.
That's a different thing.
So
I want like, if I'm posting something online, I want it to be good. Like, I don't want just trash up there. People seeing me first impression and being like, this is garbage.
But there is a video out there. There is one.
There's one video.
Where can people find that?
Every handle of mine is John Kim Comedy.
Okay.
Like, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, everything is going to be that handle.
Okay. John Kim Comedy. John Kim Comedy. Nice and easy.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, johnkim.com was taken. I was like,
What?
obviously.
So
like,
you do have a
so
website?
annoying.
Do you have a website that's John Kim Comedy?
yeah, it's up, but I haven't done anything with it, so it's just the template.
Okay.
And so right now it's just a black dude playing the trumpet.
Sweet.
What kind of website is it? Is it like one of those, like a WordPress or?
It's Squarespace because, you know,
okay.
support podcasts.
Andre from
They
the
do.
league sponsors that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every podcast at one point has had Squarespace on, I feel like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you need to get on that website, man. Put something on there.
Yeah. I don't have enough like stuff posted. I don't have I just need stuff to post first, and then I can put it on the website. But I gotta just get like my picture up there and a bio at least and stuff like that.
At least,
so.
yep. A
Yeah.
little comment section. You can post this podcast on there. The world needs to hear John Kim's voice.
Hey, if
I don't know.
when you're ready to like hire someone to do your social media, look me up. I'll do it for cheap for you.
Yeah,
Francie's a pro.
fly out of here for me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She's a pro.
Oh man, I'm so lazy with this stuff. Like I really do wish I could just hire someone. I wish I had the money to just hire someone and do it for me.
Right. You gotta get there,
This
man.
is me watching the fucking, I don't know, the UFC or something. Like,
Yeah.
hashtag UFC 298.
You just got to use that little app on your phone as much as you can. As soon as an idea pops in your head, jot that shit down. And,
Yeah, man.
I mean, every single
Just
time.
or even use the voice recorder. Just record it.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Even better.
It's true.
Even better.
Should
Use the
do
voice recorder. I like that idea, Frenzy.
Do you,
Because
have
feel
an
like,
do you have an iPhone?
No, I got the new Google Pixel.
Oh, good for you. Well, it probably should have a voice recorder then, because my iPhone 4 has one.
I think I had like flip phones probably had recorders on them.
Yeah, I think so. I think I should switch back to a flip phone.
I miss flip phones.
Yeah.
People are getting really hipster about that stuff now.
Are they?
I know.
Everything
I listen
recycles.
to Ari Shafir's podcast. He's always talking about his flip phone. I'm just like,
Yeah, what's his podcast? It's like the
Oh,
Skeptic
Oh,
Tank.
if the hipsters are down for it, I don't want to do
What's
it.
his podcast? Is like Skeptic Tank or something?
yeah, it's a really good podcast.
Yeah, I like Ari Shafir. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's very funny. I saw him. I went to the LA to the Comedy Store. I saw him work out some stuff that he would put on his special. So that was pretty cool.
Get yourself a decent set written down and make your way to Minnesota and come to the Acme Comedy
Come
Club.
to Acme, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. That would be amazing.
Come in the summer and you won't freeze to death.
Yeah, like how long do your winters last? Do you guys ever get warm? Like, no, I'm sure you guys have like a nice summer.
Oh, we have a beautiful. It gets almost too hot. I would say like this year or in 2016, last year now, summer. I mean, it was warm in like end of April, middle of April.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to make my way up there. I just hate the cold. Like Jersey gets cold too, and I don't think not nearly as cold as you guys, but we have all 4 seasons here. It gets pretty cold sometimes, but I just hate it.
I know.
Just want to be in shorts all the time.
But the nice thing is
not on
like,
stage.
It gets cold here and we have snow, but we don't have to deal with earthquakes or weird tsunamis. Occasionally, like a tornado, like once in a while. Not like no hurricanes. Like we pretty much don't have to deal with any of that weird naturistic crap. We just have to deal with the cold.
I don't understand why people live where tornadoes are. Like it's like frequent tornadoes. Why would
like
you
Tornado
like,
Alley? Like you
Yeah.
are living, your zip code is in Tornado Alley, and you're cool with it.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, I have to move every
Yeah.
every other month. I have to move.
Yeah.
Or like the flooding, like southern states where it like floods pretty much all the time.
Or the fucking fire season that comes every year in California. The weather forecast is fire.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's pretty
I
good.
lived in California when I was like 21, and I remember back then, I'm 37 right now. They would actually play on the radio like the air quality is at like an 8. So if you don't have to go outside, you probably shouldn't. You should just stay in.
Oh, they do that in California too?
Oh yeah, and this was like 15 years ago, if not more. Like
Everything's on fire.
Wow.
it's crazy. Like there'd be days where you would drive like past the Hollywood sign like from the freeway, and you couldn't even see it because it was just covered in pollution. It's gross.
Wait, do they still do that?
What, the air quality thing?
Yeah.
I would assume. I don't know.
Probably. I doubt it's gotten any better. I'm sure it's only gotten
Yeah.
worse.
And I didn't live downtown. Like I lived in Santa Monica, which is like on the beach, and I wasn't close to downtown, but it's still like every day you'd think like, oh, I get to wake up and like go sunbathe on the beach or whatever. Fuck no. Like there was so much pollution. They called it the marine layer that like basically made it hazy and cloudy every single day till about 1:30, and then it finally burn off if you're lucky. Otherwise it'd be like 3:00. Just because there's so much crap in the air. It's bad.
That's fucked up.
Damn,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
you
Like,
worry about that shit. So you either deal with the layer of smog and fire with some nice 70-degree weather, or you deal with the shitty cold, one time a year in Minnesota, and you don't have to deal with all the other bullshit.
yeah, I mean, like, since I live in Jersey, I go out to New York like 3 or 4 times a week. It is like New York is so dirty and cramped,
Yeah.
and going to Jersey just feels like I can breathe again. Like it's just it's 2 completely different atmospheres.
But they're so close together, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just hop over the tunnel to the bridge, and it's just dirty, stinky New York, and then I come back, and it's a nice green Jersey.
Do you
I'm
take the
telling-
parkway to the Garden State?
The G Parkway. The God Parkway.
Actually, well, yeah, it depends where I'm going, which way I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what, John? I think if you just plug away at your writing and you just keep writing and writing and writing, and try to get as much material, established as possible, then that next step is going to happen for you. You're gonna start getting gigs. You're gonna start traveling outside of Joyzy and getting away from that cold, and things are gonna look up for you. I mean, I really think, this is my personal opinion, I think you need to write.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like you see these tiny little increment steps, which are nice, like you get like you start getting some paid gigs, and then people are booking you more often and stuff, and it's like, all right, this thing is rolling, this thing is like paying off a little bit right now, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think that when you do if you have to do, like you said, like 1 or 2 shows in a night, like you get exhausted, which I get. Like it's not like necessarily a physical exhaustion, but like your brain is like, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. And that actually affects you physically too at some point.
yeah, for sure.
But I agree with Sarge. Like if you spend some time just like maybe you don't do shows for a little bit and you just concentrate on the writing, and you just build up a bunch of material, and then see what happens and do some shows. Then I don't feel like you'll have as much pressure to like.
Yeah, but I do think that getting repetitions into doing stand-ups and open mics and stuff is good at the same time, because then you can work in that material that you're working on, that you've been writing.
Right.
Well, no, I'm not saying like stop doing them completely, but obviously if he's going to focus on writing more, He's not able to do that now with the schedule that he has. So, like, he's going to have to cut back a little bit, and he can't come back. He can't cut back on the job that's making him the most money.
But,
yeah, like, right now, I'm in a very good spot. Like, compared to when I first started. When I first started, it was, I mean, right now I feel like I haven't made. Because a lot has changed in the past 3 years. Like,
that's good.
Huge amount. Yeah, like, one of my dogs passed away. I had 2 dogs.
What kind of dogs? Both corgis?
No, one he's half corgi, half Pomeranian.
Okay.
And the other one was a Sheltie, like a mini Lassie.
Yeah.
And the mini Lassie, he was 14 years old, 15 years old.
wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was really hard taking care of him because I was taking care of him by myself with this other young puppy because my girlfriend's dog died and it's a huge story, but I ended up with these 2 dogs, one really old, one really young. So I had to train that young dog, like house sit it, like house train it.
Yeah.
Like take a shit and piss outside and all that stuff, and then I had to take care of this old ass dog, and do comedy, and do all the daily stuff, like, you know, go to work, you know, cook for myself, blah blah blah, blah. So I was like super stressed out at one point. But now I'm married, and my wife does most of the cooking. One of my dogs passed away, but it is way easier, not like taking care of a super old dog, even though he was awesome. Like, I had to, like, he was really bad towards the end. Like, I had to like pick him up every single time, walk him down the stairs, make sure, you know, he was pretty much going blind. So I had to like make sure to like guide him everywhere, and it was just you know, it's difficult at that stage.
Yeah. Hey, I give you props for that though. I used to be in a former life. I worked at a vet clinic and did that kind of stuff. So I totally get where you're coming from. And I had to just do it with like random dogs that I got to meet for like a day, but it still like broke my heart when you had those ones, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it's I mean, like, it's not bad because we knew we did everything we could, and it got to a point where because he had like a lot of dogs do, they get kidney failure. Mm-hmm. And so when you get kidney failure, there's no reversing kidney failure. Like, you can give them IVs, which will make them feel better, but are you going to give them IVs for the rest of their lives? Like,
right, it's not a quality of life.
No,
like, I feel like once your dog stops like getting excited for you to come home and see you, like after you've been gone, even if it's been 8 hours or 1 minute, once that stops happening, like when they're old, I just feel like that's not them anymore, you know. Like then it turns into their owners holding on longer because of them, because of how they feel. They're not doing the animal any good, and it's hard. It's a hard decision to make. It's super hard, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you own a pet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the dog to suffer anymore, because you can tell
they're not themselves. They're not happy.
Yeah, you can tell they're not happy. And so, you know, we gave him the IVs for the last week or 2 of his life, and he felt a lot better. And you could just we gave him like all human food.
Duh.
Yeah, just, you know what's gonna happen. So yeah, fuck it, just give him all human food.
Yeah, I have an old dog right now. She's gonna be 11, and I already know, like, when I know it's time for her to go, like, to the vet to say goodbye, I'm gonna like be like, let's go get a Big Mac.
Yeah,
eat that shit. Like, we're gonna go get a Dairy Queen. You can get an ice cream cone. You can eat it in my car. Get it all over the place. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna take her out like she's never been taken out before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys are impressing me with all this dead dog talk.
I know. Sorry. It's the thing. Like, some people have the animal connection, and John Kim has the animal connection, like I do. So
I think
get it.
This is probably a perfect time to wrap this bitch up Once we start talking about dead
Yeah.
dogs, I think it's time to close the show.
Yeah.
What a lighthearted way
but-
to part.
John, I think if you plug away and you get yourself enough material where you're ready to start doing gigs, let us know. And we've got connections, we know people, and we can help you find gigs. It may not be in New Jersey. We don't have a whole lot of connections in New Jersey, but if you're looking to do some traveling, we can help you find something.
Yeah,
For sure.
you could come to Minnesota the end of August and do some shows, and then come to the state fair because it's pretty much awesome.
Perfect.
Minnesota State Fair.
Oh yeah,
super good.
Wait, which month is that?
It's the very end of August, and then it goes through Labor Day is the last day.
Okay, the very end of August. All right,
the last week in August. Yep.
Okay, so I would definitely check it out after my father's birthday for sure. That would be that'd be fantastic. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks
all
for
my
joining
handles.
us.
All my handles for the promo that I need to work on, everything's John Kim Comedy, and you guys can check me out there.
Hashtag John Kim Comedy.
Hashtag.
Yeah, you guys can start that if you want.
Okay.
All right, thanks, John.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks a lot,
John.
guys.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that was our guest, comedian John Kim.
John Kim.
John Kim.
He was fun.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And looking to see him get a lot more writing done and start doing some gigs and get his name out there, because I have a feeling people need to laugh from this dude.
Yeah, and now he knows why the Garden State is the Garden State.
Thanks to your awesome research.
Yeah, dope.
You can find John Kim on all the social media places. Just looking up John Kim Comedy. His handle's the same across the board. And you can find the Sarge Approved podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, we're on Audio Mac, SoundCloud, all those podcast platforms. Just type in Sarge Approved and you'll find us. Take a look at Twitter and follow us. We are at Sarge Approved. We're on Facebook and Instagram. It's all Sarge Approved. Just type in Sarge Approved and you're gonna find us.
What do you type in?
Go Sarge Approved.
Okay.
Go like Frenzy's Facebook page, and yeah, thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we're going to play out this episode with a song by the band We Is Shore Dedicated.
Yeah.
It's a weird name. And this song is called Two Men from New Jersey, in honor of our friend and guest, John Kim from Joyzy. All right, thanks for being with us, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Later, fuckers.
Will they come for you if you're radical? And the neighbors shocked and the co-workers numb. Well, they are little moles underneath the bark, and they plan to dig for worms in the dark. Well, it could be me, because I could be swayed. Somebody cast the line across the desert sand. I bet I'll eat